Welcome to our live stream of high school sports. Please note that this broadcast is produced by an independent team of sports enthusiasts, and the views, opinions, and commentary expressed are solely those of the commentators and not representative of the schools, teams, or athletes featured. While we strive for accuracy, occasional errors or misstatements may occur. This stream is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. Thank you for joining us and enjoy the show.
Yeah, come on, let's go. Hey, you ain't never seen nothing like this. Ain't no telling how it might get. It's the hypest right here. High school sports at its finest. So many highlights, you have to rewind it. Hey, Stream City, let me just remind you. The heart of a lion, the team full of fighters. So many stars on the field, it'll blind you. They're giving everything they got till the time's up. Yeah, legends in the making. History is made. We just getting started. You ain't seen a thing. YSN, gotta know the name. They gon' bring the flames. They gon' do their thing. Take it to another level, don't hold back. High school, got a passion and we show that. Got the drive and you know they got the heart. Number one spot for your high school sports. Let's go for the win. Hey.
And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to YSN Live for this Hump Day. DJ Yoakley, alongside the man, the myth, the legend, the 8-time best-selling author, as well as the world traveler. Perhaps you may know him from his Grammy or Emmy award-winning performances, or perhaps for his Nobel Peace Prize nominations. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my friend, Anthony Ronald Hartwig.
DJ, some big news dropped this morning. I saw it. I saw it on our social media.
Whatever could you be talking about, Ronnie?
I think the game has changed officially.
Perhaps you're talking about this? What is this? YSN and the NFHS partnered? Yes, that's correct. YSN, your sports network, is officially partnered as an affiliate with the National Federation of High Schools Network. And let me tell you something, brother. It's been a long time coming. I'm very excited for this. This is something, actually, it was a long time coming, but happened particularly fast, as in like the last couple of days. So there's a lot of people that have already kind of reached out and said, well, what does this mean? What does this mean for YSN? Here's what I'm going to tell you what it means for YSN. It means that you're going to keep the local voices on the local games. You're just going to be able to find them in a different spot. And on top of all this, we continue our mission to providing the student athletes, coaches, and communities a heroic sense of belonging and the hard-earned money that you're making, that you're spending on our streams. Now you can save money. So instead of $9.99 for all the games every week, so if you count that up over the course of 4 weeks, that's about $40. Quick math, East Palestine math will tell you that. Now for $13.99 or so a month, you can go to the NFHS and you can subscribe to them, cancel at any time on the monthly thing, or I think it's like $80 for the year. You can purchase that, and you can watch all sports all year long right there on the NFHS network. And man, I am so excited. Had a call today, had some emails going back and forth, and a call yesterday with the OHSAA. This is exciting stuff. This is very exciting stuff. You're able to keep more money in your pocket, watch more games in the postseason. We, YSN, will be potentially, I don't want to say anything's for certain. I would just tell you that why would we sign this deal if we weren't going to get more exposure to our local schools? And not only that, maybe you see us at another school or two that we don't have yet that potentially we could have. So big news.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm excited. Up and to the right, baby.
I think that's one of the under the radar things about this deal. Not only does it do everything that you said, but there's so many schools that have NFHS that maybe aren't a part of the YSN family that are a little bit local, or a little at least in the region. And now the door's even more open than it was to be like, hey, what's this YSN thing that now you're partnered with as an NFHS school? Well, hey, here we are. Come on to our family. We'd love to have you. The door's open. We don't say no to anybody.
It's interesting because the conversation kind of went like this. NFHS has the reach, but they have these cameras that a lot of times don't have any broadcasters. And we have the broadcasters, but we are kind of put out of position because we don't have the reach that they have. And now we just glue them up together.
So I guess Derp has the question of the day. What does that do for this week of the playoffs? What does that change for Friday when we're talking about coverage of the games that are happening in the YSN family on Friday? Does this change what we're doing?
Okay, so I'm going to let you in on a little bit of inside baseball right now. We have been told we are not going to get the McDonald game. Sad, unfortunate. But we will get the Girard and Mooney game. And what I can tell you is, even though we don't have the game live on YSN, we will have a live audio and we will have the replay on YSN for absolutely free. But if you want that live video that we're going to be able to put throughout, like we're used to, right? Like you're accustomed to on YSN, in the article, go to ysnlive.com. Click on the article about the NFHS and the YSN partnership, and you can subscribe right now. And not only will you get the game, Girard versus Cardinal Mooney, but you will also have a McDonald versus Mogador game set up for you. It's huge. And that's not us, but I will tell you, through our partnership, you're able to watch that game as well. Flip back and forth, whatever you want to do. And for all of you folks out there, skeptical, we understand. What I'm going to tell you is we are working closely with the NFHS, and they are working closely with us to make sure that this is a relationship that lasts. It might be bumpy here and there. It might be a situation where you're going to have to get used to some things, as we will have to get used to some new things and new ways and new programming. But I'm going to tell you, this in the long run is going to be one of the biggest things this area has had, because now you have I've been playing that for 5 minutes. Now you have a trusted voice in the community.
Right.
And you have trusted voices that you've depended on and you have listened to all year long. And this isn't just for football, ladies and gentlemen. This is for basketball. This is for volleyball. This is for baseball, softball, everything that we do in the postseason. This expands our coverage because, as we've said for the last 9 years, if it doesn't cost us anything, it won't cost you anything. And the opportunities there through the OHSAA, thank you, Tim Streed, through the NFHS network, for us to go to these games, do these games at no cost to us. We don't have to pay for it anymore. And on top of that, you'll be able to get delayed broadcasts live, or I should say delayed broadcasts on YSN, live broadcasts on NFHS network. So for $13.95 or $13.90, whatever it is, $14 a month, you're getting everything live, and you'll get everything the way you got it from YSN. It has no relegation on the regular season, has nothing to do with the regular season. We're still going to deliver for you live on YSN from that standpoint, but we're just giving you a bigger, better opportunity for our student athletes, our coaches, and communities to be seen across the nation.
And that answers Derpy's question. The regular season, like you just said, will not be anything new for our regular season coverage. This mostly impacts postseason coverage.
Correct. I mean, we're going to give them content for the regular season because I feel like a real relationship has to happen. Can't just show up in postseason and say, hey, we're here. We want to give them content. So, and obviously if you're going to purchase one of those subscriptions for whatever it is, a yearly subscription, this gives you more content. You can go to one place and you can, watch the games whenever you want, wherever you want. And you can watch games from all over the country, not just here in Ohio. And we'll be working towards getting more established in Pennsylvania, Indiana, West Virginia, as well. Michigan, perhaps, as well. I don't know.
Bobby Havrilla's going to be real happy about that if he's watching.
Pretty big deal. Pretty big day. 4 very stressful days. It's one of those things that we went on a limb, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We saw the risk, we saw the reward, and one more for the good guys.
Some people thought they were hurting us, and
well, I put it out yesterday. I don't want to be that guy. But
we're not going to say who. But there are some people that thought, hey, let's get one on YSN, and
they like to wear blue coats a lot. They like to wear blue coats. And if you're coming for the king, you best not miss. That's all I'm saying. You best not miss. And swing and a miss, suckers. Got it. We back, and we better than ever. I'll tell you that right now. But
we have someone that better. There you go. I was gonna.
You were going to segue. You were going to steal my segue.
I know.
Son of a biscuit. You sack of subs. I can't believe that. We have someone that's better. See, now you screwed me up, Ronnie. You messed the whole damn show up because you wanted to steal my segue. That's it. I'm canceling the show. Without further ado, someone that is back and better than ever. A dear friend of the program and a dear friend of ours. The head basketball coach of the South Range Raiders. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Pat Carden. What's up, Patrick?
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's great to have you. Looking awesome in that classroom on the campus of South Range High School. I know you've been working hard with not only your team, the varsity, junior varsity, but you've been really, really working to establish a foundation at South Range with the younger kids this year. What is the first full year kind of getting this thing underneath your belt been like for you?
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to get a job in the building here and just kind of furthering those relationships with our kids and showing them, that we're here for them all the time. This is a place that I want to be. It's been super inviting to me, from the basketball standpoint and from the teaching standpoint since I've been here. And it's just something that, I've never been fortunate enough to be able to coach and teach in the same district. So now I'm here all day with our athletes all day, our students all day, and just really excited to be here.
When that job became available and you realized that you were going to have the opportunity to not just coach at one place, but teach in one place too, what kind of moment was that like for you? I mean, like you said, it's the first time you've been able to do that. You've always been kind of going from one school to the next. What's it like to kind of be committed to a school and know that like every hour of the day you're going to be wearing one color?
Yeah, it was a no doubter for me. This is something that I've wanted to do for a long time. I said it through my interview process at the basketball thing. When you get me, you're going to get me for everything I got. I'm a very loyal guy. I'm very big on trying to get the community involved and, being a part of it. You'll see me at sidelines on football games, at baseball games, track meets. I'm at some of the girls' volleyball games because they're before when we have workouts, and Coach Irons is over there doing his thing. So really just being able to tie it all into one, it was a no-brainer for me. Now I'm here in the junior high, and I get to see our junior high basketball players and all of our other junior high students daily, and just kind of building those relationships with them from a young age, really trying to keep the numbers in our program up, keep the excitement up. And, I think we have a good thing going here, and we want to continue that upward trajectory.
Naturally, when you're in the junior high, you're able to see all those little kids with the big hands and the big feet and see those puppy paws and be like, hey, you might be a little bit of a basketballer. Have you ever thought about hooping it up a little bit for Coach Carden in a couple of years? What is it like to be able to see those kids build those relationships at an early stage and then continue them, obviously, through the high school ranks?
Yeah, I'm 2 classrooms down from Coach Rock, who's also down here. So it's kind of like Coach Saban and Coach Smart down here going head to head in the recruiting trail. So we're down here. We're trying to get those guys. But I was fortunate enough with our junior high guys. I've been able to see them come up through the ranks of our intramural program. I was able to take them to Eastern Ohio basketball camp this summer and spend 2 nights with them at that camp and just really build those relationships. So from the moment I stepped in here, it felt so natural being with the kids that you're going to see all the time. And they know that you really want to be here for them.
Coach, we always do this season preview with you around this time. This might be the first time we're talking to you where you have your players all in the gym at once because football is done. What's it like to just have everyone in there and have a little bit more time to get ready for the season before game one?
Yeah, it's different. We're used to not starting yet. I'm not used to having a team at this point. So it's almost unfamiliar territory for us. We're used to really kind of, hit the ground running, get going. Now we have some time to spend on some of the details, some of the small things. And we have a lot of different guys this year playing for us that haven't necessarily played a lot in the past. They've been part of our program. They've been a huge part of our program, but not just on the floor. Some of those other guys we lost 2, in back-to-back years, 2,000-point scorers in Luke Rowan and Landon Moore. And our school only has 4 of those in history. So, we had some really good basketball players. Now we're transitioning some guys who, you started seeing their name come up in the football papers and the football articles and on the football field. We got some guys who are more known for their baseball achievements. Now you're going to start hearing them on the hardwood as well.
When you think about some of the names that you're expecting to step up this year, what names come to mind? Obviously, there's a laundry list of guys that are going to have to step up in order for you guys to be successful. But who are the ones right off the top of your head that they're going to have to be in the headlines each and every night for you guys to get on the winning side of things?
Yeah, I think it's no question for us. We're going to be headlined by our 2 sophomores, Tommy Titus and Nick Toy. Those are only the 2 returning letter winners that we have. That letter from a year ago is freshmen. Those are pretty much our only points coming back, and they average about 4 points a game. So we were just kind of talking to our guys yesterday. We have about 88% of our points and 83% of our minutes not with us anymore. So, that's the big thing. And those 2 guys as sophomores are going to have a ton on their shoulders. But we have a great senior class. Class that's very much surprised me this year in a good way, and they've done a lot of good things. Jack Carey is going to be a big part of that for us. He played some minutes for us last year. He was in and out of the rotation. He got hurt a little bit here and there. Julian Tranovich, who's committed to Mercyhurst to play baseball, decided to come back out this year, and he's going to be a huge help to us. Then we have other seniors, DeHaven Cooperwood, Mike Lucas, and Mason Naples, all expected to step in as well. And then some juniors, and these juniors are kind of where you start seeing from the football field. We have Gavin Hiscox. Gavin's a great football and baseball player. We have Tommy Valentine, who had a great football season, and then James Dysert, who also had a great football season. So those guys, there's about 10 guys right now that we're really expecting to compete for minutes. And people that watch us know that we get guys out there and we're running. We're trying to play consistent 8 to 10 on any given night.
Coach, the conference that those players you just mentioned after you try to go through is no joke in the NE8 on boys basketball. So many good teams, so many good coaches. What do you see out of the league this year? Kind of give us a preview of the NE8 and what it would take for South Range to plant their flag at the top of it.
Yeah, I think in recent years we were able to kind of put ourselves up there and have really high expectations. We still have high expectations, but maybe not as experienced coming back. Poland gets back to Player of the Year and Carmine Tucolo. You know what they're going to do. They're going to bog you down on defense. They're going to hit you with a million actions trying to get their easy buckets. So they're always a tough out. You have Hubbard, they didn't have their best player for a lot of the year last year in Braden Songer. Pretty much their entire team comes back, and Jacob Hayes, the big man for them, really had a great second half of the year last year. So that's another great team. Struthers gets everybody back. Lakeview gets just about everybody back. Niles loses a few, but they had a really good freshman class. And then, you get Gerard over there, and, they lost some seniors as well, but they bring in a new coach and have some new faces. So, Coach Canarino was very successful at Camel, and I expect that he's going to do the same at Gerard.
It's never any surprise when you're talking about South Range. You're talking about hard work, dedication, athleticism. But for you, what are you hoping to have your calling card be at the end of the year when you're able to look back and say, okay, this is who we were in 25-26?
Yeah, I just want to see great growth with our guys. even kind of just watching practice last night, like we're going to have a ton of mistakes early. And so that's something that I want to see, the mistakes that we're making in mid-November, that we're not making those in early February. And we're hopefully really not making them if we get to early March. So just a lot of growth. Our thing is always defense first. We kind of have a point in mind. We know what that score is. If we give our opponents, if we let them get to that score, we generally lose a game. So we got to hang our hat on our defense. And with some of that inexperience, there might be some nights where we really struggle to put the ball in the hoop. So we're going to have to, figure out ways on the defensive end to, kind of mitigate that and make sure that we're in the right direction, that we could still put ourselves in position to win a game at the end of the day.
Expanding on that, in years past, you've had established basketball players that a coaching staff really doesn't have to, mold and grow as the season goes on. They just kind of know what the deal is. Well, how exciting is it for you and the staff to be able to say this year we get to teach, we get to grow, we get to make sure these kids grow throughout the season for us to succeed? That's not something that every coach gets to do every season. So as a coaching staff, how exciting is it to kind of get back to the roots of coaching and just teach these kids and help them grow throughout the season?
It is. We get to really kind of, like I said, hit on some of those details that maybe we haven't been able to hit on the past, or the other more experienced groups have kind of had those in mind. They've known it. I think our guys are feeling a little bit bored at some points of practice when we're sitting there and we're really just working on a small skill that makes a big difference at the end of the day. They like to compete. They want to get out and they want to play. But just trying to really put into their minds that, this is what we have to do to be able to get to those results that we want. And our coaching staff does a great job with them. I'm super fortunate with our coaching staff. I would say this is probably the best it's been so far for us here. I was able to bring TJ Irons up to the varsity level with us this year. He's a guy that he's a head volleyball coach here, and he's been in this basketball program for the better part of 25 years. So having a guy like him, I thought was super important. He has young children. He teaches elementary school. So he has that parent side of him, and he has that calming side of him that maybe I don't always bring. So having somebody there to kind of fill that void. And then we bring back our two young guys in Adam Wary and Drew Clark. Two young guys who put in a ton of time. Our kids love them. They've played in not this program, but I was fortunate enough to be an assistant coach for them at another program, and it's all the same. It's all the same terminology, a lot of the same plays. So they know the system inside and out, and they are super, super helpful with us. And then we have great junior high coaches as well. Coach Titus is down at the junior high. He has to have better part of 40 years coaching for him, probably more than our entire high school staff combined. And he has two young South Range grads with him, and Nick Matus and Zach Smith. And those guys really help keep the energy down there and keep our guys engaged. And, I'm just super fortunate to have the help that I do.
It's always an interesting dynamic, I would guess, to say when it comes to basketball at a lot of these schools, specifically at South Range, because very rarely do you have just a straight baller for basketball. It's usually you're borrowing a football player that you have to have them focus on basketball, or a baseball player that you're trying to keep them eyes focused, locked on hoops on the hardwood. For you, yeah. How challenging is it sometimes to keep their focus on the hardwood as opposed to on this sport or this sport?
That's one thing. We actually had a team meeting last night, and that was a huge point of it. And I told our guys that they cannot take for granted. I think they have three of the best coaches in the area across the board in their three main boys sports, with Coach Rock in football, Coach Hannick in baseball, and me. And we all work so well together. We understand we're in a small school, and we got to share these athletes. We have guys that specialize. They're only hurting other programs. So we're really trying to get them out of there. And, I think you'd be hard pressed to find another coach who supports a basketball coach who supports the other sports the way I do. You'd have to go a long way out. I'm at every football game. I want our guys playing football because I know how much that they're in the weight room. They're working. They're getting more physical. We're going to get them. They're going to be in shape. They're going to be in football shape, which is different than basketball, but they're going to be ready to go. And same thing with baseball. I just want to see guys compete. I want to see them win in every aspect. And, we do a great job as coaches here, just really supporting one another and making sure that we're putting South Range athletic programs where they need to be.
The other benefit that has is you have three coaches that kind of buy into the same culture and buy into the same philosophy when it comes to in the locker room, in the dugout, whatever it may be with chemistry. How much of a benefit is that to know that you don't have to take, maybe a bunch of football players that don't learn chemistry or don't learn a culture? You already have them established, and you can not worry about that as a coaching staff.
Yeah, the culture was a big thing for us last year, talking about, our program. This program's been through some things in the past. But now I'm saying, especially for our guys, this is my third year here. So I'm the only thing they know. This staff and this program is the only thing they know as far as basketball wise. Football's had fantastic culture and success for the last probably 20 years, even past that, right? I mean, Coach Yeagley was here for over 20 years, and I expect Coach Rock to probably be around about the same time. And Coach Hannick's been here, I think he said 17 years the other day. So I know those guys have the ball rolling in the right direction, and we're just trying to, fill in line and make sure that we have everyone on the same page and we're all preaching the same things. And like I said, at the end of the day, that ends up doing well for all of us and all of our programs.
Naturally, if we got you three leading the charge in those three programs, I think South Range is going to be in a good spot for years and years to come. Pat, thank you so much for taking out some time for us. We appreciate you. Certainly, we'll see you on the hardwood, and hopefully I don't get any hateful texts over the next couple hours from people outside of my circle, or former pitchers at Westminster. So we'll see. We'll just happen to see. Thanks, brother. We appreciate you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pat Carden. A little inside joke there, and he's probably laughing behind the stage, and I probably will get a hateful message because that's what happens. That's what happens. You can't dull my shine today. What a great. First off, I'm going to tell you straight up, as someone who appreciates Pat Carden as someone to talk to, from a journalistic point of things, he's a great interview. But having my son look up to Pat Carden the way he does, Tom Titus, who he mentioned, looking up to those guys the way that he does makes it's a different element, right? And Z had his first basketball camp this year in the summer, and he absolutely loved it, enjoyed every minute of it. So when Pat Carden's telling you that he's building this thing from the ground up, there's no two ways about it. He's actually doing that. That's not just the BS coach speak that some coaches talk about and try to talk about culture. He is inviting anybody that wants to play basketball and wants to be a proud Raider to be part of that program, even if it's down to the first, second grade level, which is where it starts. You got to see pride starts at those levels, man. You got to be proud to be whatever you are. In this case, it's a Raider. So awesome job, Pat Carden, in his third year. Starting his third year here at South Range as the head basketball coach. So thank you to PC for that.
Yeah, I grew up in South Range, watched a lot of South Range basketball. I think he's one of the best coaches that South Range basketball has ever had. And I think there's going to be a reason why when they eventually do win their first program's district championship, it's going to be with him as the head coach. And I have no doubt about it.
No, I don't either. I mean, you think about, the state championships in the last 10 years at South Range and all the close calls that you've had, boys and girls sports. And there's a mentality to it, right? And right. I don't think anybody's going to sit there and tell Pat Carden that they're not going to be successful, because if it came down to the will of a coach, PC's got a lot of that. And he's a basketball IQ guy, and he's got obviously a little bit of the DNA for the game of sports and the mentality of sports. His dad, obviously a great coach, athletic director himself. So the program at South Range, hey, you're in good hands. You're in good hands.
That's the hungriest program in that school. That's the one that needs that success more than any of them. They've all tasted it. I think, basketball, it's their time. It's their time to kind of taste that trophy, taste that district championship.
We will find out. So interesting enough, and we had I had the opportunity last night to go into East Palestine and talk to Rick Gates, who is the girls basketball coach with the Bulldogs, the Lady Bulldogs, and then Tristan Reynolds, who is the boys basketball coach with the Bulldogs. There's an interesting thing going on this Thursday, tomorrow night, if you're watching it live. It's a Shoot for the Cure event. And what I'm going to tell you is, if you haven't seen this on social media, if you haven't heard about the story, this past August, I believe, Rick Gates' daughter, Erica, who's 33 years old, was, and he'll tell the story better here in this interview, but she was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. And anybody who knows and has friends or family understands that cancer is a very serious thing. It's a very scary thing. It can turn your life and your world upside down. So Tristan Reynolds, who played for Rick in yesteryear, said, we're not going to stand for this. We're going to do something special. And we're going to create a Shoot for the Cure event that will happen tomorrow night at East Palestine High School. It's going to be a 4-way scrimmage. As I understand it, 2 teams will play each other. You'll have one half, and it's East Palestine and Heartland, and one half, and it's Crestview and Columbiana. If you know this area, you know that there's been quite the rub, right, with some of those teams involved in that matchup. And what I'm going to tell you is sports is a great, in the ultimate unifier, in my personal opinion. It's the one thing that can constantly bring people together, whether it's together to bicker at each other and have fun at each other's expense, or whether it's the opportunity to hold hands and say, we're going to root for this team together. We're going to root for whatever together. It's the ultimate unifier of sports. I am proud to serve as MC tomorrow night at this event, the Shoot for the Cure. We're going to hopefully raise a ton of money for Erica, her family, Coach Gates' family, and essentially make sure that we can make as much of a dent in the expenses that they incur for cancer as we possibly can. So without further ado, had the chance to sit down with Coach Gates and Coach Reynolds last night. We'll give Coach Gates the first honors of talking about the situation, talking about his team, and ultimately talking about tomorrow. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Coach's Corner, and a little bit different scenery around us here as we get Coach's Corner started for basketball. We're here with the legendary coach, Rick Gates, 37th year coaching in this area, Coach. Let's start here. First off, congratulations.
Thank you, DJ.
Secondly, what keeps you coming back year after year?
I just enjoy the kids. I enjoy the challenge. I enjoy the camaraderie with the team and the players. And the challenge is just year by year, you have to adjust and make it fun for them, but try and teach them and keep the purpose of all of it is, way down the road. And it's still enjoyable.
Couple of years here at East Palestine.
Yes.
Talk to me about the challenges maybe that you faced in year 1 and the challenges that you faced in year 37. How are they similar? How are they separate?
The kids' structure is way different now than when we, originally started coaching. The off seasons are such a challenge right now with kids being split with other things to do. Whether it be, travel ball teams, whether it be other sports, or just that work or the video game aspect, just that's a challenge in getting them motivated to want to get better in the off season.
When you talk about this year's team in 2025, 2026, what excites you?
It excites me that I definitely got attached to the program here at East Palestine. Coach Reynolds and I have been good friends for years. We've coached together. Coming down here was such an easy transition with Coach here. And then the community was a community that my mother actually grew up in. My mother was an East Palestine graduate, and I had an aunt my Aunt Susie was the secretary at the middle school for 20, 25 years. And so a lot of ties to the town, and the community just was so wonderful towards me when I come down to East Palestine.
And we love you. There's no doubt about it. One of the things we wanted to talk about primarily is this event coming up on Thursday. You've been dealt a difficult hand this summer, and you and I kind of chatted when we saw each other in the fall, and you kind of let me know what was going on. But the community, Tristan Reynolds, namely the boys basketball coach here, stepped up and said, we've got to do something for a guy that's done so much for so many here. Take us through what we talked about this fall, what happened to you this summer, and
and really how it's affected you and your entire family.
Sure, it's just been a tremendous challenge. We had the best late spring, early summer of our life. I retired from teaching, so we took an extra vacation to Orlando. We come back and did our family vacation that we normally do at the Outer Banks. But Erica, my daughter Erica, who is 33, had a cough during that vacation, and the last day of vacation noticed a swollen lymph gland. So she went on Monday to urgent care, got checked out, and probably every parent's nightmare, started to unfold that way. The tests come back bad. It started with just a chest x-ray looking bad, and then that led to a scan. That led to, you better look at some specialized treatments for this. So we had some connections with Ohio State and went down there for a PET scan and, received really bad news on the PET scan. The PET scan gives you indicators of where there's possible cancer, and it showed several spots. And immediately they did a biopsy, and the biopsy showed cancer. And, at that point, I think is just as low family-wise as it can get. It's just, here is a close-knit family with one of their members with cancer. And, it took us a little bit to rebound from that. Honestly, I mean, it's a punch to the gut or it's a knockdown punch. Erica bounced right back. We got her set up at Ohio State for chemo. She goes every 2 weeks down to Ohio State. Has her good and bad days in between, but I'm just so proud of her on how strong she's been through this. And the scenario that we talk about with our players, our life lessons and the big picture and things like that. And I said, walk in her shoes. Here she was at the best point of her life. She had bought a house 4 years ago. She has a little boy that's a year and a half old, little Arlo, and, super family oriented. Things were going great, and then this happened. But she's chose to battle this strong, and she has. And we're going to work our way through this, and she's going to heal through it. And we have faith in those doctors at Ohio State that they're going to heal her. And we do a lot of talks with God, and we're going to get through this.
You mentioned your faith and the conversations with God. How has your walk with God changed through this personally? I mean, as a father, there's nothing that we wouldn't do for our kids, no matter what. And to see the struggle, and I think part of the battle is in our own mind sometimes.
It definitely is, DJ. It is such a mental thing, and it caused me to reach inside, just. And look up some scriptures on how God is really a healer. Mm-hmm. He's here to make us well. But one of the first things I did, we found out late at night one evening when we got the results back that showed cancer. It showed that cancer was pretty bad. And, we just prayed that it was a type that they can fix. And, the doctors are very positive with this Hodgkin's lymphoma. They have good treatments for it. But I think one of the things I did was right away I reached out to my circle of friends.
Yeah.
My friends, my male friends, Johnny Butera, all my coaches, Herman Miller, Troy Dewey, Joey Flasco. That group, I said, start praying for Erica. And then I reached out to all my teacher friends, you know, my Chris Gassina, my Cindy Schmidt, my Lisa Campbell, my Nancy Tompkins, we had a core that I knew were very faith-oriented, and I really just, I said, I need help. I said, let's spread the word and let's pray for Erica, and they have been so supportive through this.
What's crazy, and I've got a 4-year-old daughter, a 7-year-old son we were talking about before we hopped on the air here. You never not see them as those little kids of yours, even if, you know, Erica's 33, you said, you know,
Right.
when you first heard what the diagnosis was, your initial reaction as a father.
My initial reaction was devastation, to be honest. Just the fact that she had a 1.5-year-old son at home, and, you know, just apologize for
No.
just a lot of talks with God over let that little boy have his mother growing up.
And I know you've spent a lot of time with Arlo. You spent a lot of time at your house. How has that relationship developed, even more so than maybe it would have without this obstacle?
It is a unique situation. Arlo gets to stay home while his mom works. And she works for a national cheerleading company.
Yeah.
Erica grew up in the gym with all the coaching, with a brother that played basketball, and she became a cheerleader and became an All-American cheerleader. I mean, she was awesome.
Yeah.
And while
Still
she
is. Still is awesome.
awesome. And while she went to college, Amy Clark from Columbiana, who owned Cheertown, hired Erica, who had went through her program, to coach her teams, and that was her college working job. While she was at YSU, she cheered or coached the cheer teams for Amy, and loved it, and became very close friends with Amy Clark. And when Erica graduated with a master's at YSU, she has a master's in stats, and Amy offered her a job with a national cheer company. It's actually under Varsity Athletics right now, but they're a national company. And Erica works mostly from home. She does about 5 regional competitions. I know they go to Dallas, they go to Chicago. They do these huge dance and cheer competitions. Her most recent one was this last Easter, because my wife actually traveled with her to watch Arlo while she was working during the day. But that one was at Disney, and that was what they call the Worlds.
Yeah.
So that's her job, but little Arlo is so attached to Erica.
Yeah.
And I've been able to kind of get a bond with Arlo, and it is just the most awesome thing in the world, getting to hang out with that little guy, because now for her to work, she'll work for an hour and lay down for an hour, or she'll work a couple hours and then they need the rest. Well, Arlo gets to come with me in the mornings, and then Erica will come and pick him up in the afternoon. But just the neatest bond with the little guy, and you know, I love every minute of spending time with him.
One of the things that I was so impressed with, we kind of alluded to it earlier, was Tristan kind of formulating this this shoot for the cure kind of deal. And, you know, he said he had to do something. And the most impressive thing was the combination of the teams that he was able to get together. Whatever it takes at this point, I mean, we've seen very little movement. And those who don't know the story, all you have to do is look it up a little bit. But we've seen it the last 9 years of friction and friction and friction between communities. Obviously, Crestview, one very close to your heart. There's been friction between the communities and playing each other. But you are able to bring all these teams together for a much larger purpose. That's got to feel some kind of way for you.
It feels absolutely awesome that Coach Reynolds, both of our friends, Jake Ward, has really stepped up also. But just for the local communities to actually throw their differences aside and come together for something like this is just awesome. Coach Scott, Josh Scott, and his father at Heartland are amazing coaches and amazing people.
Agreed.
Coach Johnson and his staff, we know Coach Eric very well, are also just amazing people.
Agreed.
The Crestview community hopefully has just jumped on this too, because I've had 3 children go through Crestview, and I gave them 34 years of teaching.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see the communities come together on this for the bigger purpose.
No, obviously you're on the girls' side of things, so you'll be a spectator on
Yes.
Thursday night. For you, what is it gonna? If you'd close your eyes and imagine what it feels like on Thursday night to have all those people in that gymnasium supporting you and your family and the cause, to financially kind of take some burdens away from Erica and her family, what would that mean to you?
It really means so much to my heart. These people have touched my heart so much with the reaching out, I just nonstop have gotten text messages, emails, phone calls. We're praying for you. We're praying for you. Our thoughts are with you. What can we do? And my response has just been quickly just back, just keep us in your prayers. Really say a prayer for Erica. But I guess that's my vision here, is that we can just draw together and just really get behind the support here and just make a difference.
For those young fathers, those young mothers out there who are going through, their journey right now, what advice would you give to them about understanding what it's all about? I mean, we talked about 8U basketball, baseball, where I'm at right now. This is much bigger than any kind of sport.
Your health is so much bigger than any type of sport. The big picture is, we pray for the health of our kids just daily. And, when something gets in that way, we just are, it's devastating as a parent. You feel the hurt for your kids. You really do. And, just for the parents out there, keep getting your kids checked with doctors, do that. This is a case where we didn't think anything was the matter. Several people have a cough for several weeks. Possibly we should have gotten it checked a little bit earlier. But just be diligent, with your children's health, because that's the ultimate there, being able to grow up with your kids.
Coach, we always root for you when you're on the bench, but we're certainly rooting for you always with you and your family. Best wishes. She's doing better. She's doing well.
She is handling the chemo well. One of the big worries while you're going through chemo is, can your body handle the chemo? The second worry, she's at the halfway point. She's had 6 treatments. She has 6 more treatments to go. They did more scans at the 6th treatment spot, and the doctor was very happy with the results of the tests, and just said that we're heading in the right direction. You're handling the chemo well. The chemo is doing its job. It's making a difference in trying to get rid of that cancer. We're staying the course, and that's where we're at now. We're going to just focus on staying that course and getting rid of this.
Coach, we're proud of you. Thank you so much for sitting down with us and really opening up on a subject that's very personal, and we wish you all the best on the court this season, but even more so in your family.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you, DJ, and Coach Reynolds, and Jake Ward, and all, Coach Scott and Coach Johnson and Coach Lou at Crestview. I appreciate all the help.
Coach, congratulations. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Coach's Corner here in East Palestine. The head basketball coach of the East Palestine Bulldogs, Mr. Tristan Reynolds, joins us. We're going to talk hoops here, obviously, but we're going to talk something a little bit bigger than hoops that's happening this Thursday as we tape. Tristan, talk to me about the dynamic here in East Palestine. You've built something pretty much from nothing. You've got these guys playing hard, much harder a lot of times. If you've ever been to an East Palestine game, obviously you have. I'm talking to the people at home. You get your guys to play no matter what the score is, no matter what the talent level is on each side of the bench. Why? What does keep you coming back year after year with this Bulldog squad?
I think it's just the level of success that we continue to strive for. Year one was 4 wins, and then we got it up to 10, and we were at 11 last year. And just seeing the boys' faces when it finally clicks, and that's the most rewarding thing. And they do, for some reason I love them to death. They do run for a wall for you.
Yeah.
I think you have to not only be their coach. I think it was Dabo Sweeney said, love them harder, and then you can coach them as hard as you want.
Yeah.
So I think it's that level of respect between the coaching staff and the kids.
You've got an interesting dynamic this year. You lost a lot of seniors last year, and now you've got a lot of pieces coming back, a lot of skills, but number 32, number 1 on the football field, number 32 on the basketball court, a guy that battling through injuries right now, but he's put in a lot of work during the summer. For him, leadership's probably going to come from an underclassman at this point. Would you agree?
Yeah. With Clark, he's Mr. Hustle. He's the first one there, last one to leave. He's going through rehab right now for his ankle, but he's doing it, and that's the most important thing.
I saw him shooting hoops when we were walking in.
Yeah. So he's moving a little bit better right now, and I know he loves basketball. Basketball's his thing. He had some success on the football field that I think is going to transfer over as well. But yeah, Clark's a great kid. Leader on and off the court. And then we got Drew Bycroft, who's our senior captain. He's done great for us. He had a great summer. I put a lot on him. If you're a captain, we believe as a coaching staff that you're looked at as another coach.
And he's a captain that was chosen kind of early last year, because you wanted to get the understanding and the feel of being a captain and leading by example. Talk to me about some of the other contributors that you expect this year to step up, and some names maybe we haven't heard before.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a lot out of our sophomore class. You got obviously Clark, who started a handful of games. You have Brad Bartels, he's going to see some minutes, and Keelan Simon, and then that junior class, who we've kept them together. Braden Plum. I'm excited for Peyton Rutledge.
Yeah,
I'm excited for him. Tanner Morrow. So it's just it's a lot of new faces, but they play extremely well together. RJ May's back. I'm so excited for him because there's times where he's just on the basketball court and you're like, all right, this kid's got it figured out.
Yeah.
So
it's incredible to watch all these kids. These were like the first EPYSA kids we had on YSN, and now they're fulfilling their destiny here at the varsity level. It's interesting because from a coaching standpoint, no kid is the same. You've got to coach everybody a little bit different. What are some of the challenges for you? And you're still relatively young, 34. For 34 years old. For you, do you have to kind of channel your inner 16-year-old sometimes, which can be dangerous because we know how you were at 16, to kind of identify sometimes with these kids because you're starting to be an old man like myself, man?
Yeah, I think you got to look at it from all different angles. There is a lot of times, when they bring some stuff with them, and if they have a bad day or something didn't go their way in school, it could be tough. So I have changed in that aspect where I can't coach little Jimmy like I coach John. It's how you talk and your delivery. That's the most important thing, is what I've learned over the years. Is you got to have a good delivery, and it has to be meaningful.
This is your first head coaching gig at the varsity level, correct?
Yes.
So talk to me about what you've learned from year 1 to year 5. Year 4.
Yep. I wish someone would have told me that coaching aspects only probably really 20%. There's a lot that goes into it. So it was overwhelming at first. I had a great AD at the time in Dwayne, Mr. Pav, and he helped me out. So I'm very thankful for that because that helped the process. But it always changes. You think you have it figured out, and then boom, like Mike Tyson said, everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth.
Yes, sir.
So you think you have it figured out, and then something changes. So it's just adapting and rolling with the punches. Like, you can't ever get too discouraged where one it's visible to the kids because they do feed off your energy, good, bad, and different. They will. So it's just about rolling with the punches and not really taking anything like too serious because at the end of the day, the day is going to end, and you can hit the reset button and go at it tomorrow.
The EOAC is an interesting conference in basketball because it's a conference that anybody can win on any given night. You've seen that. You've been a part of that on both sides of that fence. When you think about this year, do you still feel the same way?
Yeah. I think you got some great coaches in this league, and you got some great players. So I think everyone's relatively comparable. You got your, obviously Cooper Brown. He's a stud over there at Columbiana. And then the Ramjeet kid over at Lisbon, he's a stud as well. So you got great players, great kids, and I think you're going to be in for a battle every Tuesday and Friday night.
One of the things that one of our newer questions that we kind of pose to coaches is every coach sees a basketball player in different light, and the perfect basketball player, if they exist, what does that look like? So kind of put an action figure together of what the perfect basketball player looks like, from physique to mentality to character, what you're looking for. What would be your perfect basketball player that would suit up in the brown and white?
I think the most important thing is you always tell the kids, like, I don't want to see your emotions change whether we're up 30 or we're down 30. You just go continue to play the game for 32 minutes. So that's big for me. Physique-wise, I mean, if I had someone I could throw it down, that'd be awesome. But we don't. And honestly, just a great attitude. You want someone who's gonna want to be there and who's gonna want to lead, and we have a lot of those kids. So I mean that goes into it, and the ones that want to stay after, the ones that want to do the extra work. When you get a kid like that, you're like, okay, he's got it figured out. So that'd be a big one too. And honestly, just being a dog. Just being a dog, go after it. Getting on the floor, not showing emotions, not getting frustrated because, we can't control whether the ball goes in and out. We can't control whether we get that call. You're allowed to be frustrated, but you can always control your attitude and effort. So,
let's talk about a big event coming up on Thursday, something that, man, you have orchestrated. You have been the maestro of this, a guy that has meant a lot to you for many, many years. Rick Gates, obviously having some issues, Hodgkin's lymphoma in his family, his daughter Erica. You stepped up and said, we got to do something. Why?
I think it's bigger than basketball, if you really break it down. Rick Gates and his family, have meant so much to me over the years. I still remember when I was probably in first or second grade, I would walk up to him when he was at recess. He's on recess duty. I'm like, hey, can I play point guard when I get to high school? So he's just been a big part of my life and his family as well. When I was in high school, I wasn't always the most well-behaved. I gave Rick a hard time, and I apologize every single day for that. And his daughter Erica, she's awesome. I mean, I could be a punk back in the day, but she was always like, Tristan, shut up, or and she's always been great to me. If you know Erica, if you ever ran into Erica, she is probably the nicest human being that you could run into. She's awesome.
We're shooting for a cure here on Thursday night. You've got East Palestine, obviously, Heartland Christian, Columbiana, and Crestview. Obviously, a Crestview graduate. Coach Gates, so many years at Crestview. Why these 4 teams? Why does it make sense to you?
The plan started in the summer, and really big shout out to Jake Ward in the barbershop at Columbiana. He got the wheels turning over there at Columbiana, and there's a lot of moving pieces. So Columbiana, Erica's, I think she's married, or fiance or whatever is a Columbiana alum, Logan Goist. So that was a big piece, and their JV coach over there, Coach Hop, he's dating Rick's niece. So it just made sense.
We're getting into this. Like, we're going through the family trees and everything.
So it just made sense. And I've always had a good relationship with Todd. And then Heartland, just because we were going to try to scrimmage them anyways. Coach Scott has known Rick for years. They've been coaching for a long time, and they've known each other, and they got that good friendship. So I figured, why not bring Heartland in. And then Crestview, just because it makes sense. I mean, Crestview is, you know, that's where Rick coached for years, man. I mean, and you know, Rick over there at Crestview, he did a fantastic job. He brought me on, one of the first coaches that gave me my shot over there, and I'm forever grateful for that.
Let's talk about what this is. I mean, the Shoot for a Cure for Erica. What are you hoping to get out of it? What events are we planning? What can be done? How do people contribute?
So there's a lot that's going into it. So we're gonna have raffle baskets, and the public has been awesome. We probably have over 20 baskets. There's so many different companies that donated. I wish I had a list, and I apologize I don't, but there's so many people that are willing to step up and help. I can't tell you how many times my phone has rang or I got a text and it was, hey, what can I do to help you? What can I do to help? I want to help. From the admin all the way down to, just someone off the street. It's great. And I think, when you talk about, I preach like, oh, family, we break on family, and, having the communities come together. It's a fantastic thing because I think we all have the same goal. Like, we just want to help them any way possible. And I know this is little, but, if there's anything we can give them, we're going to try our best. We're going to have a half-court shot. Our EPY say 6th grades, they're going to do a meet the team. You're going to be on the mic. I know you're going to rock it. There's so many different things. Like, there's a 65-inch TV that was donated by the Ginger family. Comco made a fire pit, Ohio State fire pit. So there's a lot of good things, and I know the communities are going to come together, and I think it's going to be a success, and I think it's going to be bigger than I planned for it when it started.
Yeah.
But I'm excited.
In your eyes, I guess when you close your eyes, what does a successful event look like?
I have a number, of what we want to try to make to give to the family. And, me and you spoke about it.
Yep.
Should I share it?
Go ahead.
I think, and I'm talking to all you spectators out there, I think we need to come together and we need to shoot for $10,000. If we go over, that's awesome too. But I think, if we put everyone, put in the effort, I think we can get that. And that's not unrealistic. So that'd be a number one goal. And number two, just pack the gym. Come watch some good basketball. You know what I mean? Just find any reason to come. Just find any reason to show support.
Man, I can't tell you how thankful I am for allowing us to be a part of this, for sitting down here tonight, and certainly for what you're doing for the Gates family and leading by example, because we need more of that in the world to show that sports can be used for good and not just to bicker back and forth between who's the better team. But sometimes it's a little better. It's all right to have a little bit of both.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, have that competition.
T, appreciate you, man.
Hey,
thank you so much. Congratulations.
Absolutely.
Good luck this year.
Thank you, sir.
And just like that, pretty emotional stuff, Ant, I would say.
Yeah, that was it's hard to follow up. That story and those things are kind of where words fall short a little bit. You just want to hug people because there's not really much you could say that could take everything away. There's no bumper sticker answers to kind of fix those kind of things. It's just it's tough. It's tough. I know Rick Gates for a while. I remember him when he coached the girls program at Crestview. His daughter is my age at 33. So, just like Tristan, I think you and me have both built a relationship with Rick Gates over the years of not just covering him, but even before YSN, just going to Crestview games when other teams would be there and knowing kind of what the kind of coach he was and how he would lead his programs. We're with him. We're putting our arms around him and we're going to be there with him throughout this and his family throughout this whole kind of ordeal.
It's funny because I've known the Gates family for a long time through a friend of ours, a young lady I graduated with, and he mentioned his Aunt Susie, which was the secretary of the I want to say it wasn't even junior high. It was like the elementary school at the time out in Unity. Susie Knoll, the late Susie Knoll, who is missed every single day. and we love her and we appreciate and miss her very, very much. But, I kept trying to address it as a dad, and Rick said, "Hey, I'm 64 years old," and it's one of the off-air conversations that we had is as a dad, anytime your kid is sick, even with sniffles, you're like, okay, well, I wish give it to me. I can handle it. But to see the courage, to see the bravery that Erica and her family and little Arlo, I saw a picture of little Arlo last night, what they're facing. You have to, it hits those strings, right? Is everybody says this can't happen to us, this can't happen to me. And one thing that in the conversations with Coach Gates, Coach Reynolds last night, everybody needs to be getting checked out. Everybody needs to be making sure they're going to doctor's appointments on the regular, and making sure that you can never be too cautious. You can never be too safe when it comes to this stuff. So make it a point. Take care of your loved ones, because oftentimes I'll put myself in that. Oftentimes it's just a cough, and then it can turn into something else. So make sure that you're allowing people to get checked out, to get screened, because you never know. You never know. And certainly there's family is sports, sports is family. And tomorrow night we are going to light up the hoops and let people know in this area that we look out for one another. That's what we do. And we do it around a great game, a great contest, and 4 great schools are committing to put their hand in the pile tomorrow. And I cannot wait for it. I'm really looking forward to this event. Anytime that we can help out. And as you know, and people around the world, YSN is always going to be involved, because we believe in the unity and the unifier that is the sports community. That's it. That's a show. Bob Burek popping in, by the way.
If he commented that while Pat Carden was talking about sharing athletes at South Range and how important that is to the 3 coaches there, Dave Rock and himself and Coach Hannock as well.
And we love Bob Burek. There's no doubt about that. I love Bob Burek, one of my closest friends in the world. So great to, I know he's pumped up for the NFHS stuff. So glad to see him tuning in today. But I will be honest and tell you, I cannot wait. And I texted them, I cannot wait to be on a beach in about a month from now, getting ready. We're leaving the 26th, I think. So we'll be down there, and
Clock's ticking.
A little bit of oh boy, 4 days. I need a beach and a drink. That's what I need, and I'm not gonna tell you what kind of. Almost slipped. Almost slipped there. Almost slipped. No, I'm looking forward to a little R&R. It's that time of year. I know Mrs. YSN is looking forward to that as well, and the little microphones. You think they'd be a little bit more geeked up? They're just like, they're living their best life right now. Here's my spark, and we'll get to the spark thing. You know what? You've seen it a million times. We're running over. It's the Joe Dickey Electric Spark, presented by Joe Dickey Electric. Go to DickeyElectric.com. Sarah got Bella this really cool, the claw machines like in the stores?
Oh, yeah, where they grab it and they have to, yeah.
Somehow Mrs. YSN found this. It's one of those claw machines. Bella can fill it herself. She's got fake coins that she could put in it. And the claw machine, she can play. I mean, she's been playing it nonstop for like 48 hours. And now here's the kicker is your boy is thinking, all right, this is a training device, because I'm going to take her to whatever claw machine and I'm going to be like,
yeah, that was my question. Is it just as rigged as the claw machines that you find that actually take money? Because those things are rigged.
They're rigged because the people that stuff them in such a way that you can't get to them correctly.
Right.
So you actually have to dump like $30 in and just move like the stuffed gorilla that you want in order to actually pick it up and go. And then sometimes they'll actually they'll make it so they don't close all the way, the claws.
Yep.
Which is kind of a
sneaky, man.
Real sack of subs there, vending machine people.
It's a D-bag move.
Yeah, you're a real sack of subs. You're a real Jimmy John, whatever it is. I bet they're all named Mike.
Mike Subs.
Jersey Mike. That's who they are.
Jersey Mike, yeah.
That is spark. I'm excited to see baby microphone use the claw and grab it. I mean, she's got Santa Claus up there. She's got a snowman. I mean, she's putting stuff in there that doesn't belong, but she's pulling them out and gets real excited. So I'll take a video of it, send it over. What's
Love
your
it.
spark, pal?
My spark today, because of the timing and because of those interviews we had, I thought I would share one of, if not my favorite, Bible verses that is actually right on time and right on cue. Because as soon as I heard Rick Gates' interview, it got me thinking of it. John 16:33, I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, for I've overcome the world. That verse rocks anyone that shares the prosperity gospel. That's what I call it. The people that tell you, hey, as soon as you accept faith, everything in your life will be fine. Everything's going to be sunshine and rainbows, because Jesus doesn't promise that. He promises the exact opposite. He says you will have trouble. And the trouble he's talking about is not I lost my keys. It's not I'm feeling under the weather. It's faith-rocking, life-shaking type of trouble. That's why he's telling you that. And then he follows it up with, take heart, for I have overcome the world. I am about to die, but don't worry, I am going to resurrect myself. And I will pass everything that you need with that check, with that resurrection. Because he's telling his disciples this right before he gets killed. So he's setting them up for, like, you're going to have a really bad day. You're going to think, dude, the whole world is lost because you're going to see me die. But take heart, for I have overcome the world. Don't worry about it. There is hope and peace in me through the trouble that I promised you are going to have. So that verse is one that I really hold on to when I go through tough times, and I think I share it with everyone that I know goes through tough times, because trouble is coming for you. If you haven't felt it already, you will. You're going to lose someone that you love. It's just a natural part of life. You're going to hit those parts of life that make you question your faith. Go to that verse, because Jesus says you'll have it, but in me you can have peace, and take heart, for I've overcome the world.
Amen. Yoakley 316 says we'll be better tomorrow. That's what I got for you. We'll be better tomorrow, and
everybody.
we will be back tomorrow.
Hey, we'll preview all the playoff games tomorrow too. Got some great stats. Got some great matchups.
My apologies to Randy Riccatelli, because I promised him we'd get to some games today, and we did not. We had a little bit to talk about today. So we will get to them tomorrow in their full glory. Really, there's only 2 games to talk about if you really break it down. So 3 if we stretch it. 3 if we talk about Hoban, which we will. That's going to do it for our show. Thank you to Rick Gates. Thank you to Tristan Reynolds. Thank you to Pat Carden for stopping by live today. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you to all of you that continue to make YSN what it is this incredible journey in life that we think is a little bit silly, to be honest. When we wake up every day and you put your trust in us to do what we do each and every day, but we are so honored and privileged and humbled to do it for you each and every day right here at ysnlive.com for all your stats, scores, all that stuff. It's a little slow this time of year, but business is going to pick up here in the short term because basketball is here.
Friday.
Anthony.
Here it comes.
It is here. And for those of you who don't have plans tomorrow, come on out, East Palestine High School, shoot for the cure, help out. Any donation. We're going to try to get a QR code for donations for those who can't make it. Help out the Gates family and certainly Erica as she and her family take on this journey in Hodgkin's lymphoma. For YSN, DJ Yoakley, Anthony Ronald Hartwig, we will see you tomorrow at noon right here on your sports network. And may sports be with you.
And you, my friend.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.